Good morning. This is kind of a cozy place last night. Uh, if you don't take into account all the stickiness that's in the air. I mean, everything is just all damp and sticky. It's almost like I'm in a jungle. Speaking of which, I guess you could almost say I am in a jungle. It's pretty thick, but it was a cozy place last night, and I put the pads down just the right place where all the divots were in the right places so that it was a comfortable sleep. Now time to get up, get going in the steam here, get down to Ozark, and that's you've been hearing me say Ozark, so it's like Ozark but without a Z, so O-A-R-K, and they pronounce it Ozark instead of Ork, Ork. Um, so let's get going. All right, just got to pick our way out of here now. You may be saying to yourself, gee, nice and shady, 9:30 in the morning. Must be a nice, refreshing, cool hike. Well, did you say it's a wet, and clammy, and damp hike? Then you'd be right. Oh boy. It's all downhill, but still, I'm all wet. Clothes are all damp. Huh. Well, here was a nice stop. Gave myself a little bath. So now, instead of being sticky and sweaty, now I'm just sticky. I dried off as much as I could in the humidity here, but still, I mean, I'm dry, but I'm sticky. But the other nice thing, though, is that now when I'm going along here, people won't smell me 2 miles before I get there. So a nice stop. Although now it's a little bit warm, and I'm behind schedule. Now look at this here. It's a little trailhead. It's a trailhead for the Ozark Highlands Trail. The Ozark Highlands Trail was one of my routes that I was thinking of coming along before I decided on this, but also somewhere on the way to Hector, we're going to be coming crossing back onto this Ozark Highlands Trail, and I think we're going to walk on about a mile or two of it if I don't stay lower on the road. Just depends on the water situation. That section between Ozark and Hector, I don't know really what the water situation is, and so that's going to be my determining factor of what I'm going to do. If there's no water along the trail, I'm going to have to stay low along the road and then knock on doors, I think, here and there of houses that might be along the way and say, hey, please, pretty please. But I think it would be a pretty trail to hike, except I would do it either in the early spring or, yeah. Well, that's pretty nice. It's walking by, I can't see it now. It's walking by that house there. Guy came out and said, hey, bud, you need anything? I said, huh, what? So he came down, we talked for a while. So his name is Yancey. Howdy, Yancey. And he says he has a cute wife named Jessica. Howdy, Jessica. Anyway, he came out and we got talking. So he's a trail angel for the Ozark Highlands Trail. So we got talking about things like that, and Gave me some tips on what to expect between Ozark and Hector. So thank you very much, Yancey. And I've actually been surprised at the number of cars that have been coming up this road. Just talking to Yancey for the 10 minutes or so, or 15. I think we saw 3. And this is the 4th one that came by. It's quite pretty in here. The cliffs. And then we're paralleling the Mulberry River. And there was a turnout back there talking about how even as far back in the late 1800s, people were realizing that if they didn't make some attempts at protecting the land, just unbridled mining and grazing and timber harvesting and all that would just wreak havoc on the land. So it was actually the administration of Benjamin, no, was it Harrison? Yeah, Benjamin Harrison, that set aside the first acreage that would later become the national forests. 13 million acres out in the west. Huh. I'm glad they did that, you know. No matter where you are in the country, it's always nice to be able to go somewhere and have this nice nature scenery. Way behind schedule. Stayed too long there at the Ozark General Store, talking to a bunch of bikers, and then I met a hiker doing the Ozark Highlands Trail. Hello there, Brian. Anyway, so I resupplied for the next 2.5 days to Hector. I'll have a pretty good diet going on. Slim Jims, potato chips, moon pies, peanuts. What else did I get? Something else. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Well, good. So now I'm gonna go up here to the late morning. 11:17. It's gonna start. Which way should I go here? I got here to this Camp Ozone, which is a National Forest recreation area, but back in the day, from 1935 to 1942, it was a civilian conservation corps camp, and there were various camp buildings here, and they used this as a base of operations to do various projects through the forest. But take a look at this schedule that they had. Look at that, 5:30 was breakfast, and then 6:30 at night was dinner. So they started early and kept going through the day. And speaking of the meal schedule, I guess back in the day during the Depression, a lot of these guys were undernourished, and when they came to these camps, in addition to the hard work they did, with all the food they provided them, they gained on average 10 to 12 pounds in body weight while they were here. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually, considering the average weight of people back then, as opposed to today, is quite a bit. Last night, where did I leave you off? I think I left you off. I was going in to get something to eat. And then Joe and Cheryl saw me earlier in the day, and they started talking to me, and all of a sudden, before we knew it, it was starting to get sunset. So they ran me down here the 8 miles to the camp. Otherwise, like I said, I would have been walking at night. And then I got here last night and started talking to a guy from the UK who travels quite a bit. And then this morning we started talking again, so that's why I'm getting a late start out of here. So I don't know. I don't think I'm doing 20 miles today, which I'd like to, but we'll see. All right, found it. Looks like it might be rather simple to follow. I'll be on this for a little bit. Got the blue blazes here. That one doesn't say anything, but the other one back there said OHT for Ozark Highlands Trail. So I'm on this trail here for about 3 miles. And then the trail crosses the road and parallels the road uphill. But what I'm going to do is then take the road 3 miles instead of staying on the trail. And then at that 3-mile mark is where the Transamerica Trail will intersect. And then I'll be on that Transamerica Trail for a little bit of time. And then, depending upon how far I am into the day, then I'll cut off Transamerica Trail and take a shortcut. But this shortcut is supposedly on Forest Service roads, and that'll save me 2.5 miles. Oh, I need to register. So whereas the Transamerica Trail will make a sharp bend to the left and then go way up on the ridge, I'll keep going down to some waterfall type of place, and then take a couple Forest Service roads, meet back up on the TAT. And that's why I've also gambled, and I'm only taking 2 liters of water with me, because this part of the trail here is supposedly going to be following a stream that is off and on. And then I talked to a local that came through earlier this morning. They said, oh yeah, there's there's streams and waterfalls. So see what happens for later on the day. Hopefully I'm not water. In the meantime, I'm going to register here. And what's interesting on this trail register that I see right here is you see a lot of people that were coming in through the spring, which obviously would be good time to hike because it'd be nice and cool still. And then stops at 6:24, and the next person came in August. Oh boy, coming through here in August. And then so off we go. Signing that trail register was the first one I've had to sign. Didn't have to sign it, but the first one I've signed since being in the Rockies there, going up the Weminuche. And you remember what happened there, right? They were looking for that lost guy, and they found him. They were coming down when I was going up. And a couple nice things about today is supposed to be 3 degrees cooler, only 88, still humid. It's very humid right now. And I'll also be in the trees, so I won't have that direct sun bearing down on me. Oh, and one other thing I want to mention too is, man, I got bitten up by something, those little no-see-ums. You can't tell, but on my hands and on my arms last night, they just chewed me all up, and they itched so much. Ooh. John back there gave me some hydrocortisone. It helped just a little bit, but still there's that underlying itch. And at night, I'd wake up and it's just itch, but there'd also be a sting with the itch. That's why I think I always tell the story about the first walk when people ask me, well, what was the hardest part of the first walk? And they probably expect me to say something about the dry desert, or the Grand Canyon, or the snowy Rockies, and I tell them no, it was the Missouri River. The heat, the humidity, and the mosquitoes. All right, this is going down to the creek. I'm glad it's going down instead of up, so I got to pay attention. No more blabbing for now. So since I am technically in the Ozarks, do any of you know anything about Ozark flora? I'm smelling a scent that's kind of a cross or a combination citrusy jasmine with a little citronella mixed in. Smells good, but I don't see any flowers, and I have no idea what would be giving off that scent. It's definitely not a suntan lotion of somebody in front of me. It's coming from the forest here. So if you know what a citrusy jasmine scent with a touch of citronella is in the Ozarks, let me know in the comments. All right, we made it down to the bottom here. We're going to be following this little piney creek. As you can see, not much water in it. There is a little bit of movement of water, so it's not really stagnant. So if later on I need to get some water. Also, I had to do a little trail maintenance up there. I missed a turn because looks like a lot of people have. There's a point where the trail does a sharp turn of about 165 degrees to the left, and I'm not the first one that just went straight. I was walking along and all of a sudden, hey, where'd the trail go? So the backtrack, I'd look on the map and I see, oh, I missed it by about 30 feet. So the backtrack, and so I cleared out that sharp turn and covered up the wrong one with leaves. So you guys following me, you can thank me for making your trail journey an enjoyable and mishap-free trek. Oh boy, you're crazy, aren't you? Crazy, Daddy-o, as Greg would say. If you're listening, Greg. A pretty green tunnel, huh? We're still here at the bottom of the Little Piney Creek ravine. No water in it now. I was looking for a pond over there to rinse the sweat off again on me. Well, I know I'm still on the right path. Guess this is the 88 mile mark. I don't know if is that halfway? I thought the trail was like 100. Wait. Pay attention. All right, I gotta figure this out. Okay, made it up to the road. It's getting really hot and steamy again. So the trail actually continues on that way. And like I told you, I found this shortcut. But it's not just any old shortcut. It's nice and level and big, so you know it's going somewhere. I'm gonna pull up in the shade over here somewhere and probably have a little bit to eat. And then continue on. I think I might make this a shorter day. For some reason, I didn't sleep a whole bunch last night. Well, probably the main reason was all those little no-see-em things that bit up my hands, and so between the itching and burning and those little things, I'm lucky if I got 5 hours of sleep. So, so. Oh, I wonder where that one goes. I wonder if there's any water down there. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it might be a good camp spot, though. I'll check this out for when I drive back through here, if I do so. Maybe it's a road. Well, just getting ready to take a break, and guy came back in a little side-by-side, got talking, and some Jeeps came by. Gave me a nice, now, my thirst will be quenched instead of having to drink hot water. And now I guess I'm not going to take a break here. Private property, beware of the dog, stay on the trail for the next half mile. So, I'll continue on for the next half mile on this nice shortcut that's saving me, I think this one's saving me a mile and a half. And the other shortcut up ahead is going to save me 2.5. And between those two, I still don't think I'm going to make the mileage I was planning on. So I'll just find a place out in the woods here. It's supposed to rain tonight maybe, and in the morning. So if I can find, in fact I was just kind of doing a thought process with myself. I was saying, if I find a place that is a camp spot that's conducive to putting down a tent, and also conducive to stringing up the hammock. Yeah, I got the hammock back. I don't know if I told you that. I sent, I sent it to Denise to keep when I was in Nevada. So I had her send it to me when I got here to Arkansas. Anyway, so if I find a camp spot that is conducive to a tent and conducive to a hammock, which one would I do? And I think I've determined that I'll do the tent and the tent with the fly, and then I'll put the tarp, I'll hang the tarp over the tent so that, pay attention here, because I think this is private property. That's kind of nice. Because then I'll have the, if it's starting to rain before I put up the tent, I can put up the tarp and then put the tent up dry. And if it's still rain, and then the tent doesn't get wet during the night, and then I can put the tent away dry, and that'll be a good deal. And here I go again, blah blah blahing. So as soon as I get past this property here, I'll find a nice spot in the shade, hopefully get a little breeze, and drink this ice cold water. Ice cold water, ice cold water, yeah. Maybe even put some of it on these bites, maybe that'll soothe them. Itch, itch, itch. Some more vehicles for sale, I bet. And have you ever seen a forest boat? That's a forest boat right there. Look what I just came to. It's called the Movie House Historical Cabin. I have no idea what it's all about. See this rock wall here too. But let's go take a look at it. There's a sign on the side that says no camping and do not start a fire. But there's a flag here. So let's go see what this thing's all about. The Movie House Historical Cabin. Wonder if we can go inside. Oh, look at this. Front room. And what do we have here? A table. This apparently would be the kitchen. And look, there's even a bed in the kitchen too. Stove / heat. There's another entrance. Remember, we've seen a lot of places on our travels where in the old days your door would just walk right into the kitchen here. There's an upstairs as well. Let's go take a look at that. Oh, these are steep. Oops. Ooh, ooh. Oh, really steep. This is a pretty big room here. Huh. A couple beds. Can even probably put another single bed over there. Or, if you really wanted to pack it up, single bed there, move this one over, put another single bed there. And then, I guess this would be considered yesteryear's master bedroom. The little babies slept there. So I don't know the full story behind this cabin. All that I can make of it, and I don't have a signal, so I'll tell you a little bit more about it later. This cabin is tucked back, way back on a dirt road here. It's on private property, and there's evidence here that some guy named Bob something or other owned it back in the 90s, I guess. And the reason why it's got the movie moniker attached to it is that evidently it was the filming location of a pilot that was supposed to be a, I guess, a comedy western type of thing in 1992. And I guess it was not made for network, but it was made for syndication. JJ and the Lady. Do you ever remember seeing a TV show like that? JJ and the Lady? So, oh look, another visitor. Kind of pretty. So that's what this is all about. Bub's cabin. Huh. So a little break here and then we'll continue on. I think I'm probably going to post up at about 10 miles today. It's just been kind of a slow day. Pretty piece of property. I wouldn't mind living here. All right, now just like that, after the movie house, we've made it to the Union School. Wait, you said we? Yeah, we. Meet Josh.
Jason.
Jason.
That's all good. And
say hey to Haley.
What's up?
Hey, hey.
They saw me at the house there and they ran me down to the schoolhouse. You can go see what the schoolhouse is all about. And donations would be greatly appreciated. So here's the Union School, built in 1929. It's been well kept, or maybe well restored.
The windows was out of it. Was some of the windows.
Heard the guy in here saying that they had to replace like 200 panes of glass.
Making some windows, but the holes that I thought.
Look at this classroom.
In the ceiling come because of the roof. So
Huh.
once you have water to it,
You think of being here in the 1930s, during the Depression and all that sort of stuff. Yes, Mrs. Smith. Good morning, Mrs. Smith. It's probably the, oh, this is a desk. Maybe the bad kids had to stay here. Oh, there's an upstairs. What's up here? Huh. I wonder if the stove, is this where the teacher lived? These old buildings, they really have character, right? And I think I've mentioned this before. I can see myself living in something really simple, like this, most people would think, ah, it's too small and too simple. All my modern conveniences, but pay attention. Going down the stairs. But yeah, these things are just really a really simple existence. But I wonder, after living 3 years in a backpack, if this would be like too much, sensory overload. Oh, I got too much stuff. Look at these blackboards. And then over here, so again, we have this room here. And then here's another classroom here. So I guess there was a pretty big population here at one time.
And on each side of the cable and run a wire around it. So then people would get out here, it's a slag bridge. And people would get out here and go jumping up and down.
Right.
The boards would get lapped, and so it just scoot in. And then next thing you know, out there on the ends, you'd have to jump across the big open space. So many people as we have in the woods now, it would never hold up if it was still up. No. So here's when it fell into the creek. So it was just wrapped around trees. The cable was, and the tree rotted.
So the Union Schoolhouse, and where are we? I think it said near a place called Mount Levi. Is that what it said? But look at the nice grounds, huh? Yeah. So, pretty nice place. Nice grounds, like I said. And I'm going back down to the highway here, or I'm going to the highway. I don't remember if I'm walking the highway all the way to Hector or if I'm going back up in the mountains. But anyway, Jason and Haley, they're going to run me down the 2 miles to the highway so I can try and find a camp spot before the rain comes. Supposedly going to rain tonight, maybe. You can't see me, can you? So that's what's happening tonight, and guess I'll see you in the morning, unless there's something special. Well, I mean, you might see me today. More blah blah blah, more blah 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 blah. Yeah, brother. All right, thanks once again, Jason and Haley. They got me down to the oh, I need to go to waterfall. Oh well. They got me down to the highway here, and now I'm just I'm going to call it early tonight. I think it's about 5 o'clock. Maybe it's 4:45. I don't know what time it is. But try and find a random spot up here. And this actually gets me back onto making 20 miles tomorrow. And then that'll get me into Hector. The following day, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's always nice meeting people, and like I've said many, many times already, is that on all these walks, everybody that I've come across has been very, very nice. But there's something about this walk where, I don't know, there's something extra about the people that I've come across, whether they're just extra engaging, I don't know if I should go up there, or extra helpful or whatever. And I kind of had a sense of that before I started this walk. I had a sense that this walk was going to be, sure, it was still going to be about the message, God's shining his light on your path. He loves you very much, and he's warning all of us at times running short. But I got the sense too before I started the walk that God was going to make this my walk as well. So I know I've been learning something in my head. There's an even greater piece about me that I can feel. And I dare say, I was even thinking about this morning. Even, you know, the normal fears that we might have in life. Fear of this, fear of that, fear of suffering, fear of death. I think I even find that slipping away too, you know. It comes back to that old saying, right? What do we have to fear but fear itself? Because with true love, there is no fear. Something else to ponder now. And here we are. So I've got 4 points to tie off from the tarp. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just put the tent right beneath it. And we'll be all set. Now, there's no sign of rain, so of course I'm going to set up this tent, and we'll end up not needing it. But I'll tell you, man, the air is really still and thick and humid and sticky and heavy. I said heavy, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to set up the tent, and for dinner I'm going to have about a moon pie and a Slim Jim. Yeah. And then 1.5 days to Hector. Maybe 2. Good night. Good morning. Almost afternoon. It's a good thing I had this tarp. It didn't rain, but just a couple of drops. But if I didn't have the tarp, because I didn't end up putting on the fly. I put the fly on top just in case it was a heavy rain. But I just crumbled it up there. And so I was fully open. If I hadn't had the tarp, I would have put the fly all the way on. And I would have been just completely soaked in there last night. It was so heavy with humidity and all that. I didn't even have to break out the sleep bag. But I'm tired. So I've been 4 days since I left Siloam Springs. I wonder if it has something to do with, I don't know if you can tell, all these bug bites that are on my arms. On here too. Yeah, look at that. And they're on the back of my neck. So today is supposed to be 20 miles. Probably not getting out here till noon. So probably not making that 20 miles unless one of those nothing happens by chance things happens where somebody hits me at the end of the day and says, hey, you need a ride? And they get me the extra 8 miles or something. So that means, I don't know what that means. That means I'll probably run out of food before I get to Hector. Yeah. Oh well. All right, I'm gonna pack up and get moving. It's gonna be 800-foot climb, I think, over 2 successive climbs. Oh, there's a mosquito. Ouch! Dang it. And then it'll be downhill the rest of the way. I got 3 liters of water. That should get me to Big Piney Creek. And I don't think it's gonna rain. But it is a little bit cooler, which is a nice thing. Yeah, I had my alarm set to get up at 6. I'm not getting out here till noon. Oh well, it is what it is. Well, here we go. 12:06. Needless to say, I'm not making 20. Unless a magic ride shows up. So there's the intermediate 12.5 miles down or up and then down the trail. There's a place called the TAT Shack, if it's still there. And it's a It's like a little cabin that caters to the Trans-American Trail riders. It's free, and of course you're also free to leave a donation if you want. But I guess there's some beds in there. I don't think there's a shower or anything, but that might be the goal. 12.5 miles. And then so after that, TAT Shack would be 16 miles into Hector, where I can get some food. I can just save up, eat enough food today, and then tomorrow, or I'll use it all up by the time I get to Hector. And then in Hector, small town, I can, there's a baseball field there. And even though it doesn't have, it's got a dugout, but even though the dugout isn't got a half wall on it, I think it's far enough off the road that I can probably get by with stealth camping there. And like I said, I'm really tired. You know, it's not like a physical tired. There's not even like a mental tiredness. It's I don't know. I think I might be in sync with the weather here. It's all overcast, but also the air is still and heavy. You know, it's almost like if you've ever had that feeling when you're sick. It's been a long time for me, but really long time. But you have that feeling when you're sick, you just feel like you want to throw up, but you can't. And you're just thinking to yourself, come on, let's get it over with, and I'll feel a lot better when I do. That's what it feels like with the weather. And kind of a weird explanation, huh? Or description. But with me right now, it's just more of a blah, blah, blah. It's not a doldrums. It's just a general, I don't know, lethargy. Hey, look at this. Another one. Excuse me. So I guess there's no fast children around here either. Huh. Good afternoon. Well, got done with the first uphill of the day. And after we go down here, we're going to have another one, which I think, if I remember, it's going to be 700 feet in a couple miles. Well, you never know until you're there, but this would have been a really nice camp spot. I mean, where I was fine, but it was kind of close to a little road that had a little bit of traffic on it. But this one's quite nice. It's up here where nobody would have been. Only about another hour walking, and I think I would have had a little bit of a breeze up here, other than last night when it was just still and thick. So I'm going to take a break up here anyway, and then move along after a little bit. It's been about an hour. Well, that was a nice 2-hour break. Yep. I hiked for an hour and then took a 2-hour break. You know, the funny thing though is these gnats, now they're all around me again, but they don't bother you. Oh, there's another nice spot. They don't bother you when you're stopped. Well, we just crested the hill. It was about a 350-foot climb in about a mile and a half. Anyway, there's a can't see it through the trees, but there's Tacky Hill right there, and then Turkey Hill over there. So Tacky Hill is about 1,100. Turkey Hill is about 1,200 feet. And while I was sitting there on my 2-hour break, saw a wild hog. He got to within about 20 feet of me, and then he saw me and he ran off, huffing and growling. I didn't get the camera out in time to take a picture of him. And I've passed a couple of other nice campsites here. So this is a pretty spot. Maybe I'll come back here someday. As long as there's no mosquitoes and things that bite up my arms. Look at that. Still. I think that TAT Shack up ahead has a shower. I think I read that has a shower. So I'll enjoy that. And about 8.5 miles. So that'll make a 12-mile day. I haven't seen one of these signs since Georgia, I think, on the second walk. Definitely in Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Well, haven't seen a person all day today while hiking, or a car, coming out of this wildlife management area. And this would be classified as more of a main dirt road. In fact, I'm hooking on right now to the Trans-America Trail. And I'll be on this until the cutoff over to the TAT Shack, which, as you've probably surmised by now, I guess I told you, didn't I? I'm going to stay there, even if somebody else is there. There's supposedly multiple bunks. And it's about 6 o'clock. We got another, how much more to go? An hour and 20, I think. So hopefully we'll get there before dark. I don't think the clouds are going to produce anything for us. I just got a signal. Looks like it's going to be 82 tomorrow. And humid. So that's 16.5 miles. I got to get up early. Got to be disciplined. Get up early and get going. At least it'll be mostly flat. And I think it's going to be mostly little road like this. I think. Could be dirt road. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. Yeah, look at this. Can you read it? That's the logo for the Trans-America Trail. And this is the TAT Shack. I can't really see it. Doesn't look like anyone's here though. So let's go take a look. All right. Well. Kitchen. Wonder if there's anything in the refrigerator there. Looks like a sign-in book. And all this is free. You can see it's geared towards motorcycles though. Trans-America Trail. Got a cot in here, huh? And cot in the wood, couple cots here. All right. Well, this looks like it'll do it for tonight. I definitely have to get motivated, disciplined, I should say, to get up and get going in the morning early because it's 16.5 miles, and if I don't make it tomorrow, I'm out of food. Oh, look at this here. Here's the rules for the TAT Shack, and pay particular attention to the bottom one. Don't get the neighbors mad because they got more guns and ammo than you. And also right underneath here, I don't know if this is a joke, but it might be real. This was a safety rules from Honda, from a motorcycle instruction book. That sounds about right for that era, how what the translation was. Give big spaces to the festive dog that makes sport in the roadway. Avoid entanglement of dog with wheel spokes. All right, we'll avoid the dog's entanglement. All right, that's it. Good night. You can tell I'm not walking. Only 7.5 miles today. I stopped at 2 o'clock. Why is that?